Hey, what's up, everyone? So, I just went and saw Sonic the Hedgehog, and just in light of who he is and how the whole movie went together, I felt like I should give you a movie review in Sonic Speed. I grew up on these games in the early 90s, especially 1, 2, and 3, playing them all the time on the Sega. Absolutely loved them. And so when I heard they were making this movie, I was a little bit skeptical. I was excited, but I'm like, um, because like I definitely wanted to see this, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, can you actually execute in this way that I enjoyed it? So I ended up seeing the first trailer, and like everybody else, got very very worried, very concerned about this film. And if you don't remember, here's a picture of the before and after. Because as you can see on the left, um, this was the original design for Sonic. Now, I don't know if they were just trying to scare everybody with this first trailer and like create the hype, or if they were just really trying to emulate a real hedgehog look, which just really doesn't make sense. So thank goodness they listened to everybody, and here we got Sonic, what he closely looks like now, or he originally looks like anyway. So as far as I myself am super stoked how he looks now. I think they did a great job, and thank goodness we didn't have the first draft of what Sonic looked like. So, anyways, moving forward, we got Ben Schwartz, who is the voice of Sonic, and he crushes it. I thought it was phenomenal. It matched his voice. I really liked it. The other people that star in this movie is you got James Marsden, who's kind of the main guy who's Sonic's side and stuff like that, and his wife Tika Sumpter. But let's talk about Jim Carrey, who's Dr. Robotnik, or AKA Eggman. Now, I'm not going to spoil this surprise or whatever, but there's two references in this movie on how he kind of gets his name, so you do got to pay attention to that. He talks about it himself, and then even Sonic. So there's two moments in this movie because his name's Dr. Robotnik. So for me, though, who plays the games and stuff like that, like, more as Eggman, and so yeah, just pay attention to that. That's just all I'm going to say on that. But Jim Carrey, for me, I don't know, there's moments of it that I really loved him as Dr. Robotnik, but then there's other moments where I didn't. And the easiest way for me to say this is Jim Carrey literally takes, this is my opinion on the mesh of what he created, was he took Ace Ventura and the Grinch, and if those two had a child, that's Dr. Robotnik. That's what I think happened. And some moments of it, like, was cool, but then some moments it just like, man, he doesn't really act like that. So I still liked him. I really like Jim Carrey. I laugh a lot. There's just moments of his character where it just didn't necessarily feel like Dr. Robotnik, or Eggman. So, so he might be a hit or miss for some of you who watch it. I think maybe if you're more of a diehard, you might not like his character. If you're more kind of like, whatevs, I think you're gonna enjoy it actually. So, because I thought he brought his own style to it, and like I said, I laughed. But is it true? I don't know how some of those people feel about it. I do want to actually talk about a few little Easter eggs, because I drove over here specifically for you. I am in Green Hills, Tennessee right now. And if that doesn't ring any bells, let me just explain why. Because the very first game, the very first level was called Green Hills Zone. And be on the lookout maybe for some of that. But then also, whereas James Marsden lives or whatever, is Green Hills, Montana. I have no idea if that's a real place or not, or if they just made it up. So that's a cool little Easter egg, and I figured like, well, heck, I'm going to drive through some Green Hills. So I'm actually in Green Hills. You just have to trust me on this, but you can look it up. Green Hills, it's just south of Nashville, Tennessee. And that's where I'm driving around right now for to bring you this because I feel like, oh, I'm going to add my own little Easter egg. Another one you see in the trailer, actually, and it stayed in the film, is Sonic's playing ping pong, and he definitely has the words Hilltop Road on this sign, like it's a sign when you're driving down the interstate. And that actually is from the second game, the first level, Hilltop Road. So it's really cool to start throwing some of these Easter eggs. And I don't want to go through all of them because, you know, there is a ton. I mean, just be listening for the music. There's other things that, sound effects. Let me just put it that way. There's, look, when somebody's wearing a bandana, look at the logo. Even how, remember the gameplay style of Sonic and how you would have to use him to either break things or interact maybe with bosses and that kind of stuff. And that might be really cool just because that might be the exact same way it happens in the film. Even little things down to the sunflower, you know, it's just like, there's a ton of things that are in this movie that's just like, if you've played the game, you're gonna be like, hey, that looks familiar. So that's what I loved about this film. And I guess that's the short version of, or I guess not really short, but that's the roundabout way of me saying that I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I haven't played all the, you know, like the Olympics games and things like that, you know, and I didn't really watch the cartoon show that they had or really read the comics. It was pretty much the games for me. So I might be missing a ton of Easter eggs that they pulled from all these other ones as well. But the movie, I thought it was great. I seriously give this movie an 8 out of 10. If you have kids, I think they're gonna enjoy it, whether they know Sonic or not. And if you like Sonic, you know, if you play the games, I really think you're gonna like it. Now, if you don't know anything about Sonic, more as like an adult, I don't know if you would realistically appreciate it for what they try to do and execute. So I do feel like for adults, it's probably more for people who know Sonic. But for kids, I think kids are going to enjoy it at all. Like for me, it's realistically the best kids family friendly movie that I've seen probably in a couple years. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. 8 out of 10. So before we wrap up this thing, I need to talk to you about the after credits. I'm not going to tell you what it is. There's 2 after credit scenes though. There's one that's like, well, I kind of say it's 2 after credit scenes. One's like immediately. So do you even count that? I don't know. The other one though goes through when it starts, you know, saying some of the cast members, and they actually kind of throw like a retro throwback to the game's style background as they're doing the cast. So after that, you're gonna see a second after credit scene. I'm not gonna say anything more than you need to stay around for this. This is a very cool after credit scene. In fact, throughout the whole movie, never mind. I'm not going to talk. Stick around for it. Stick around for it. And lastly, I have a question for you, actually. So in this film, and I don't want to go into details just because I don't want to give everything away or whatever, but he talks about this one world where he calls it the mushroom world. Now, I can't help but think this is somewhat of a kind of a poke to Mario, and you know, because Mario and his mushroom kingdom, like supposedly this world is just full of mushrooms. And you know, it's kind of a little bit of a poke because he's like, oh man, I don't want to go there, and all this other kind of stuff. Now, maybe I'm forgetting about something in one of the games or whatever. Maybe there's a mushroom world. I don't know. I seriously think though it's kind of like a little poke, a little bit to the Super Mario that we all know and love. I think that was a fun little plug that they try to do. Hit me up in the comments though. Let me know. Am I missing something, or is it just coincidence? But just knowing the relationship between Sonic and Mario, how how they've collaborated. They've kind of fought for popularity throughout the years, and I just feel like actually, you know, saying the Mushroom World is kind of their way of trying to say the Mushroom Kingdom. I could be completely wrong. I have no idea. So let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know what you think in general. Like, did you like it? Did you ever play any games? Which one's your favorite? Mine's still Sonic 1. I love it. Is the way they introduced it. It was phenomenal. So, yeah. If you like this video, hit the like, and always hit the subscribe button. That way you're notified for future movie reviews. Thank you, guys.